Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Luchauskas. Today's the 11th of June 2018. So welcome everyone. So welcome to our daily session where we're gonna have a quick look at the markets, what's happening with them right now, what levels to watch out for. But before we continue, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page here, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We throw out different trading shoutouts and then just, analysis on its own. So feel free to check us out. And I think you can find something useful for yourself. But for now, let's have a look at the markets. So the first one I want to actually touch on is silver. Excuse me. Now, we are here in a nice symmetrical triangle formation. So currently we can see that we are moving higher and we've managed to break through this 200 EMA shown here as the black line. Now we can see the importance of this 200 EMA here on this chart, and we can see that it kind of acted as a good level of resistance and support in the past. So we've managed to break through it, and now we're pushing higher. Certainly keep an eye on this next level of resistance, the potential next level of resistance at around 17 number. So the $17 mark. So could be a good level to watch. Certainly just slightly above that we do have the upper bound of the triangle, which could get tested as well if we get a break above the 17 mark. So very interesting levels to watch here. We're keeping an eye on this one carefully, because once we're hoping to see a nice break here, either through the upside here, upper side of the triangle, or through the downside. I mean, for now we're probably going to continue just trading within this formation, but once we get closer to one of the sides, now this is when it's going to become more interesting, let's say like that. So for now, like I said, guys, keep an eye on this one, keep monitoring these key levels. If we get a break here above this upper side of the triangle, well, this could open the path towards these higher levels, and we do have some good areas to watch here on the upside. First, we could get a touch of this 1735 area, approximately there, and then of course move higher. But of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, and let's see what it wants to do with these levels first. On the downside, we would need to see a nice move here below the 200 EMA in order to kind of start considering these lower levels. On the downside, we do have this 16.60 area, approximately there. Now a break below that could confirm further declines, maybe even a move towards this area right here at around 16.32. Yep, and slightly below that we do have the lower bound of the lower side of the triangle formation. So keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, this is looking nice here, looking nice in the long run, because I mean the further we're getting into the squeeze here, in the squeeze zone, the bigger the pop is going to be. So for now, keep an eye on this one, keep watching it. We are moving towards the apex of this formation, but like I said, anything could happen. We could see maybe a pop through one of the sides earlier. So but for now, like I said, until that's confirmed, just continue monitoring these levels inside. Looking at the US oil now, which is the WTI, and we're seeing a nice move away from this upwards moving trend line that we had running here since end of August 2017. So we're now pushing lower. Certainly, I mean, it's too early to kind of say that this is going to start rolling over lower, but for us to become even more bearish, we would need to see a nice move below the 64.10 mark in order to kind of consider further declines. And lower below here we do have another good area of support at around 61.90. Now, certainly, you probably can see that slightly below that we do have the 200 EMA. The question here is, are we actually going to get a test of that or not? But well, let's wait and see. But for that, I mean, for this scenario, we would need to see a nice break below the 64.10 first. On the upside, we will probably become more bullish on this one if we see a strong move back above the 66.70 mark, and of course this would place the this commodity above this upwards moving trend line that I was just talking about. And if we do see something like this, well, the downside could be off the table for the time being, and we could start pushing higher again. But again, like I said, for now the sentiment is more to the downside, and we could start aiming for this 64.10 first. Let's quickly have a look at a few pairs, and the euro dollar is trading higher here today, certainly moving away from this key area of support at around 117,500. Certainly probably is going to close today's day in the green zone, but still we can see that I'll just quickly zoom in here. We can see that we've stayed below here, below this area, a good area of resistance at around 118,250. It acted as a good level of resistance, certainly couldn't break that level today, but I mean, nevertheless, the day hasn't finished yet. Maybe we'll get another pop here or something like that, but I doubt that we could see something drastic here today. But nevertheless, always keep that idea in your head. So for now, we can see that we're stuck here between these two key levels, this area of resistance at 118,250 and the 117,500. So we would need to see a nice break either to the upside here through this level, or to the downside below this 117,500 in order to consider further declines. I mean, if we do get a break here below, this could also place the pair below the 21 EMA, and which acted as a good nice area of support on Friday. So but for now, like I said, keep an eye on these two levels. Let's see which way it wants to pop. Looking at the EURGBP now, this is an interesting one, and well, I will get to the GBPUSD pair later on, of course, but you probably can understand that which pair is performing better against the US dollar today, and that's definitely the euro. So GBPUSD got hit a little bit today. Of course, the manufacturing numbers came out of UK and they were well below expectations. So, but like I said, I'll review the GBP USD in a few minutes. Looking at this Euro GBP now, we can see that it met its resistance today at around 0.88300 level. Certainly that level almost coincides with this 200 EMA. Also acted as a good level of resistance, and for us to become more bullish on this one, we need to see a nice break here above this level and above this 200 EMA in order to kind of consider further upside moves. Certainly on the bigger picture, we can see that we're still within this kind of flattish downwards moving, well, flattish, I mean downwards moving, let's call it downwards moving trend line here. And of course, if we get a nice break here above the 0.88300 and eventually a break above the 0.88450, well, I mean, we could start aiming for the upper bound of this downwards moving channel. Certainly could get a test here. This area here is around the 0.89200, so the upper bound is around that level. Good level to watch here, but I'll repeat myself, only if we get a nice break above the 0.88450. On the downside, certainly we shouldn't exclude the downside here, because this pair likes to let's say take out a lot of traders, and we could see maybe a move here below. But for us to kind of become more bearish on this one, we would need to see a nice move below this area right here at around 0.87750. And then we could probably consider consider further declines, let's say like that, where we could aim for the 0.86 or 0.87, let's round it up. So 0.87 mark could be a good level to test, but only if we get a break here below the 0.87750. Looking at the EURJPY, and the EURJPY is performing nicely here today. We're getting this nice push to the upside. We can see that it got above this upwards moving trend line that's taken here from mid-August 2017. Certainly, if judging just by this picture, what we're seeing right now, we could start aiming for higher levels. We could see a bit of a continuation here to the upside, maybe even touching this 50 EMA initially shown as the red line, and then of course maybe touching this downwards moving downside resistance line here that's drawn here from February this year. Could get a test, we could see a test, but if we get a continuation here to the upside, certainly, I mean, at the moment it is looking strong. It seems like it wants to continue pushing higher. Let's see what happens. For this, I mean, for us to become kind of, well, we are kind of bullish on this one, but we need to see a nice confirmation close here today above this area, this highlighted area that I've got here on my chart. So keep an eye on it, guys. Good pair to continue monitoring. If we do get a close here above, we could end up pushing higher later on this week. Looking at the EURCAD, now this is an interesting one as well. Having a nice push to the upside here today. We are breaking this key area of resistance at around 153.15. Certainly the pair is now placed above this long-term upwards moving trend line. Now this trend line has been running since February, end of February 2017. It hasn't closed above this yet. I mean, we can see that it got hit here by resistance at around this 50 EMA shown here as the red line. Of course, let's keep an eye on today's close. If we get a close above this upwards moving trend line, well, this could be seen as a bullish sign, and we could start aiming for higher levels, maybe even towards this 154.45 area, approximately there. Could be seen as the next potential area of resistance, and if that doesn't hold, well, it's opening the path towards higher levels. But for now, let's keep an eye on the closed, and we'll have a look at it tomorrow. Let's just see what it wants to do after that. If it closes below this upwards moving trend line, well, stay cautious. I mean, it doesn't mean that we could roll over from here and move lower. We would need to see a nice close below this area right here at around 152 mark in order to consider further declines. But like I said, for now, this is looking more bullish than bearish. Okay, so GBPUSD. Definitely. So we can see that it got hit here today. We managed to move lower, managed to reach the area at around 133.45, but now we're seeing that it's trying to retrace back up again, and of course it's trying to get back above this 133.90 area. Certainly keep an eye on that one. It's a tricky one for now. Let's just continue monitoring it, because I mean, for us to become more bullish on this one, we need to see a nice move above the 134.55 area, just marked around this here. And of course, if we want, for us to become more bearish on this one, a good strong move below the 133 mark could open the path towards lower levels. So for now, I would probably recommend to stay sharp and just keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do with this 133.90 area. Let's quickly touch on one more pair. So USDCAD, so that's a good one as well. We can see that it's trying to battle this psychological 130 level right now. The question here is, of course, where it's going to end the day. Is it going to end above it or below? But to be honest, it doesn't really matter, because at the moment it is looking quite strong, and it seems that it wants to continue pushing higher towards this level right here at around 13500. Now, keep an eye on it. A nice break above this could send this pair even higher, maybe even towards this area, this highs that we had in March in 2008, well, this year. And this area right here is around 131,250. So keep an eye on it, guys. I mean, for that area, for us to consider that area, we need to see a nice strong move above the 130,500. Certainly on the downside, if this gets back below this downwards moving trend line here, probably only then we're going to consider further declines. I do understand that it's quite a big move here, but to be honest, at the moment this pair is looking more bullish than bearish. Okay guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed this this session, and please join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso at 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now,